Okay, my name is Prof Sunwoo from Korea University in Seoul, Korea. This is my great honor and privilege to join Oktoberfest organized by Infineon. Today, my title of my talk is Megatrend of Auto Industry. Especially, I'm going to focus on current status of electric vehicle in Korea. This is my table of contents. I'm going to quickly overview of the global auto market, and then I'd like to introduce electric vehicle development plan by global OEMs, not only just the platform, but also I'd like to introduce a battery point of view as well. Then I'd like to summarize EV stats in Europe, North America, and Japan. Finally, I'd like to introduce EV stats in Korea, especially Hyundai Motor Group. This is a quick overview of global auto market. As you see in this table, this is the showing the number globally and also Hyundai Motor Group sales. Starting from 2016 through 2021, as you see in this table, 2017, there was the peak by global sales. That was around 95 million, excuse me. And then Hyundai Motor Group wise, 2016 was they actually reached the peak number. There was a 7.9 million vehicles they sold in worldwide. However, 2020, which means COVID-19 actually affect the global auto market, and also Hyundai Motor Group also got some damage on their sales. However, 2021, this year, global market will be slightly improved a little bit. Around 60 million more vehicles will be sold in worldwide. And also, Hyundai Motor Group, they expect to sell 7.2 million vehicles this year. But this number is not adequate because currently we are having some problem of shortage of semiconductor. They may affect the numbers. Among this auto market, this is briefly I'm showing EV market compared to total. But 2019 EV market was reached to 1.6 million and slightly improved in 2020. However, look at this number. Even total sales of worldwide slightly increased. However, the number, this is the brief overview of this is the largest number of vehicle producers starting from China through Korea. 2019, China was number one, followed by USA, Japan, Germany, India, Mexico, and Korea. Last year, still China is the largest number one vehicle producer in the world, and followed by USA, Japan, and Germany. However, the Korea becomes the fifth largest vehicle manufacturing country, and followed by India and Mexico, which is a good sign for Korea at this time. This is the very interesting issues for all global OEMs. As many people understand, in auto industry wise, carbon neutral policy, which will be very important theme for all OEMs. No matter what, most countries, they should meet carbon neutral plan by sometimes in 2050 and 2060. Beyond this, especially auto industry-wise, strict emission standards will be very important regulation for auto industry. That actually triggered electric vehicles. So without electric vehicle productions, very hard to meet these two very severe standards. Because of this, all global OEM, they try to invest lots of money for developing EV. And this number I got from the Alex Partner Analysis report from last year to 2024 for 5 years. They expect to see around $225 billion to investment to develop the EV. And including battery, the total number really go up to $300 billion. This is a huge number for all OEMs and the battery companies. As of 2019, the cost of electric vehicle powertrain was around 16,000. Still, the number is 2.5 times more expensive than internal combustion engine powertrain. So this is the key. In order to disseminate the quite substantial number of EV sales, we have to reduce this number, powertrain cost. That actually a number influenced by a battery cost. This is another sad story for global OEMs. We used to use internal combustion engine for last 120 some years. However, in order to meet carbon neutral and strict emission standards, most all OEM companies, they try to drop down or internal combustion engine based car. Look at the Hyundai Motor Company. They stopped the diesel engine development work last year. And also they just announced after 2030, no longer produce the as all new car will be developed without internal combustion engine. General Motors, they try to introduce about 30 new electric vehicles by year 2025, and then they don't want to produce any more new internal combustion engine car after 2035. Okay, Daimler-Benz and Volkswagen also, they don't want to develop the internal combustion engine anymore. Also, they dropped the all internal combustion engine car in the market after 2040. Stellantis is not different. No more diesel car production after 2022. Volvo and Geely stopped diesel car production in 2020. And also all new car will be replaced by hybrid and electric vehicle. Because of this, all car industry affected by worker adjustment, which means a labor cut. BMW already cut 16,000 jobs in worldwide, and in Germany itself, they actually cut 6,000 employees. Renault, they're trying to cut their labor by 15,000 by next year. In France itself, 4,600 people will be laid up or is gone. Daimler-Benz planning to cut their labor by 20,000 by 2025. Ford, they're trying to cut down to 70,000 this year. Nissan, to 20,000 people will be, this job will be off, this period. And General Motors, they already cut 14,000 workers in 2020. Several hundred more people will be gone for home this year. And Toyota, North America, they actually laid off 5,000 employees last year. Now, I would like to start with the EV development plan by global OEMs. I'd like to introduce about platform and batteries. All major OEM companies, they try to develop their own EV platform. The purpose of this development work is they trying to reduce the cost and also reduce the weight. And because of this, they're trying to share part to save cost. That's the main purpose of new platform development work. What is the platform means? Look at this. This is very typical internal combustion engine powertrain platform. This is the engine, and this is the transmission. That's the drivetrain. So in order to get the appropriate power from engine requires a huge part of the metal parts. That actually requires a huge space for carrying this powertrain. Compared to this conventional powertrain, The electric vehicle powertrain is very simple. They just require the space for carrying battery and also front wheel and rear wheel. Sometimes they use only one motor, sometimes they use two motors for uh, generating more power. Each major car company built their own electric vehicle platforms, such as Volkswagen. The name of the platform is MEB. GM announced Arteon for their electric vehicle. Daimler-Benz introduced several of them, EVA, MMA, EVP. Honda, in order to, instead they developing new platform, which actually requires lots of money. They trying to collaborating with the General Motors, which means Honda, when they build their own EV, they may use General Motors Arteon platform instead developing their own platform. Renault, Nissan, Mitsubishi, they have their own platform. Stellantis as well. Volvo and Geely, they're going to share the same platform for both car companies' vehicles. Not only OEM company developing their EV platform, battery companies such as LG Enso, Samsung SDI, SK Innovation, CATL, Panasonic, Northvolt. This is this year capacity. LG Energy Solution, their production capacity is around 122 gigawatt hours they can build. However, within 5 years, their production capacity will be more than double. They try to make more battery factory around the world. And CATL, currently they are the number one battery production capacity. However, within 5 years, their production capacity will be triple times more than current production capacity. So this is the new war game to build more production capacity by among battery companies. Not OEM or battery company build their own battery for OEM. Many car company now they working together, collaboration work with the battery company, such as Volkswagen. They are going to build a joint venture battery factory with the Northvolt and Guoshuan from China. Stellantis, they are working with the other battery company at this time. They are planning to announce soon, like Daimler-Benz as well. General Motors, they build their own battery company in conjunction with LG Energy Solution. Ford already announced several battery plant in the United States, conjunction with SK Innovation. Volvo and Geely, they are working closely with the Northvolt. Okay, let's go to the Europe. Volkswagen and Audi Motor Group, they just announced the MEB 2019. They introduced MEB-based new electric vehicle called ID3, and the cost, they trying to build their EV. The cost of this EV will be around 30,000 euro, which is a very aggressive target. And based on this price, they try to allow the driver to travel 500 kilometers, which is very, very aggressive target. And they announced after 2024, no more production of internal combustion engine vehicle. Daimler-Benz and the BMW, they announced already plug-in hybrid and electric vehicle will be for all passenger cars and SUV. So they also announced after 2039, they do not want to build any longer internal combustion engine vehicle. Ford, in order to build their own EV, They trying to utilize the share with the Volkswagen platform, which name of this platform is MEB. That actually save money. However, this is the current trend. Like Honda, they actually use General Motors EV platform. Renault Nissan Mitsubishi Group, they use their own platform. The name of the platform is CMF. Stellantis has their own platform, which called ECMP. Now let's move to General Motors. They do have a very interesting plan for next 10 years. This is they just announced a new logo for General Motors, and also they announced they're going to invest $30 billion by 2025. So which is a big number for 5 years. They also introduced new platform this year. The name of the platform is Arteon. By the year 2030, General Motors trying to produce 30 different electric vehicles. Based on this, they trying to sell their EV in 2025, reach it to 1 million. This number covers the 15% of General Motors' total sales. In order to build and sell this number of electric vehicles requires additional EV plant. They already opened 2 EV plants this year, and then 3 more electric vehicle plants by 2023. So this is the very big plan for top-notch General Motors plan. Based on this, their business model, they're trying to reach to 280 billion revenue by the year 2030. This is a very, very aggressive number because this year they actually predict about their revenue is around $140 billion this year. So then $280 billion means within 10 years, they're trying to develop their revenue. So this is a very big sign for all other OEMs as well. This is a very interesting vehicle. The name of the vehicle is Bright Drop. They already built 500 EV truck for FedEx to make it logistic solutions. GM also announced after 2035, which means 15 years after from now, they do not want to produce any longer internal combustion engine vehicle. This is recently announced their new logo, and this is the General Motors new platform, which called Arteon. This platform will be used by Honda as well, so they can share each other. Also, General Motors announced already if they need internal combustion engine vehicle in the future, they are planning to use Honda internal combustion engine platform. So they actually share each other, EV for Honda, internal combustion engine vehicle for General Motors. I just mentioned just a few seconds ago, this is the name of the vehicle is a Bright Drop. That's a totally newly designed electric vehicle truck for FedEx. Very nicely designed, very clean for environment, which is very good. They got very good response from the market. Now let's move to Japan. As I mentioned to you, General Motors EV platform, Arteon, will be used by Honda EV. Nissan, they're going to use CMF platform, which designed by Renault, Mitsubishi, and Nissan. Toyota, they do have their own platform, IQ. They just announced newly designed, developed a battery, which is a very, very nice battery for next generation vehicle. They use a solid electrodes and the solid electrolytes, which is a very good technology for future EV. Because of this technology, they can use the same space for doubling the travel distance, which is very important, without any fire warning problem. Now move to Korea. This is our today highlight. I'd like to introduce about Korea market at this time. Eco-friendly vehicle in Korea. This is the table summarized for last 5 years. Look at the number 2016. In Korea, electric vehicle, hybrid electric vehicle, plug-in hybrid, fuel cell. Fuel cell vehicle-wise, Hyundai Motor Group is #1 producer in the world at this time. During the 2016, they actually built and sell 250,000 vehicles all over the world. Within 5 years, the number actually 3 times more than 5 years ago, so which means 820,000 eco-friendly vehicles were manufactured and sold in the market, so which is a big number. However, look at this EV-wide. Only built 10,000 in 2016, and then last year they built 130, which means 13 times more than 5 years ago. They trying to produce and sell 1 million EV by 2025. They are very ambitious goal for Hyundai Motor Group. Hyundai and Kia, they just announced new electric vehicle platform. They called eGMP. GMP stands for Global Modular Platform. Based on this platform, they just announced, introduced 2 new electric vehicles this year. One is built by Hyundai. Name of the vehicle is Ioniq 5. And then this EV6 designed and produced by Kia Motors. 2 electric vehicles are very popular in Korean market at this time. Beyond this, by the year 2025, Hyundai and Kia, they trying to introduce 44 eco-friendly vehicle, which means pure battery electric vehicle, plug-in hybrid, and fuel cell. Among 44, 23 will be battery-powered pure electric vehicle, including 11 of them from the new platform-based electric vehicle. This is their goal and target. By the year 2030, Hyundai Motor Group, they trying to be one of the top 3 in EV market in the world. This is the, I just explained to you, recently announced newly designed EV platform. The name of the platform is eGMP. Compared to conventional powertrain platform, very interesting number. I'd like to give you one thing. Front wheel to rear wheel, we call this the wheelbase. This wheelbase little longer than conventional internal combustion engine vehicle platform. So that actually provides a very spacious cabin area. So very comfortable for all 5 passengers. Recently, I just driving this Ioniq 5, and also I am just ordered EV GB60. I'd like to show you later the pictures. This is a brief overview of eGMP. What they do have, platform include a battery, motor, and onboard chargers. No space for internal combustion engine makes a very flat space, so that actually provides spacious cabin volumes. Battery charging wise, if they're using quick charger, within 18 minutes, they can charge up to 80% of the whole batteries. Performance wise, 0 to 100 takes only 3.5 seconds. Top speed will be 260 kilometers. One charge we can travel 500 kilometers per charge, which is very nicely designed and equipped with new batteries. By the year 2025, they try to build and sell 1 million electric vehicles. This is the world's first multi-charging system for 400 volt and 800 volt at the same onboard chargers. This year introduced by Kia. Name of the vehicle is EV6. This is not sedan, not SUV. So we call that crossover utility vehicle. So little larger or taller than passenger car, but little smaller than SUV. But performance-wise, this is very powerful powertrain they do provide. So acceleration-wise, very good for young people. This is Ioniq 5, which I'm driving for test at this time. Very nicely designed. All the inside features is very interesting combination they provide. So young people will love to use this one, especially people has some kids also very nicely designed for 5 people. Just a week ago, Genesis, the part of Hyundai Motor Group, announced GB60. This is the SUV and very nicely designed. If anyone who want to buy this one, they should wait about 6 months from now. Okay, this is a summary table produced in Korea. This is, look at this number, driving distance wise, battery size wise, later it's just a shorter distance because of the size of battery. So those vehicles introduced before this year. However, this year they actually announced already EV6, Ioniq 5, and GB60. And look at this battery size-wise, much bigger than old conventional EV built by Hyundai and Kia. Because of this larger battery, they actually allow to drive a much longer driving distance. I'd like to summarize my talk at this time. I hope my talk make you interested and also make you understand globally and also Korean market of EV status. Thank you for your attention.